So steps in investing in stock market. So,
Yay! Gusto ko to malaman.
so step one is you need to find a broker. So sa New Zealand, we have four main ones. We got Sharesies, ASB Securities, Direct Broking, at saka Invest Now. So I'll talk about New Zealand Stock Exchange in details in the next slide. So sa Philippines naman, you have your banks, BDO, Metro Bank, BPI, at saka yun, BPI. And then you have your other companies. The big one is called Financial. Napakaraming investors, traders na member ng call. So new ones, Equities, Unicapital, MyTrade, at saka Fuel Stocks. And if you're in New Zealand, you can also invest in the US market.
Roville, I have a request now.
Pa?
We have viewers who could not speak Filipino.
Okay.
So you would have to explain now in English. Thank you.
Okay pa. So if you are here in New Zealand and wanting to invest in the US market, you can invest in two platforms now. It used to be just Hatch, but just this April, Stake launched their New Zealand broker. New Zealand market. So you can invest as well in Stake. And then there are also rumors na Robinhood at will be coming to New Zealand as well. Robinhood is somehow like Sharesies, but at a cheaper price. Ganon. And then Sharesies is also opening its US market soon. I've tried the platform. They're still developing it. And yeah, before this year ends, I think they're gonna launch in the US market. So you also have TD American, eToro, at saka Interactive Brokers. So let's compare the brokers in New Zealand. So what's the best broker in New Zealand? So actually, it depends on how you use it. So if you are just investing in ETF, every broker has it. If you're investing in New Zealand listed companies, it's only Sharesies, ASP, at saka Direct Broking that can do it. And while if you want as well to invest in Australian Stock Exchange, it's only ASP at Direct Broking. And with regards to fees, when you invest in New Zealand listed companies, Sharesies is the cheapest amongst actually just between Sharesies, ASB, and Direct Broking, because Invest Now doesn't offer New Zealand listed companies. But the good thing about Invest Now, if you're investing in ETF, it has zero to minimal fee. So Sharesies as well, it has subscription fee, which is 50. If you invest less than $50, it's free. Below 3,000, it's $150 per month. Above is $3 per month, or you can pay an annual of 30,000. While the rest, they are free. If you're also basing in platform experience, the winner here is Sharesies, because Sharesies is very, very easy to navigate, and it also works great on mobile. And when you open Sharesies, you just need to choose funds or companies, and it has description in it already. And you don't need to, well, you still need to do research, but at least you have an idea what type of company you're investing in. While ASB and Direct Broking are already dated and cluttered, and they are not that friendly compared to Sharesies, and they are not mobile friendly as well.
So which one did you start? Sharesies?
For me, actually, no. In New Zealand, I started with Plus 500. It's an Australian broker. It's based on CFDs.
I think for those people, again, this is not a financial advice. For those people who don't know yet, and I actually like Sharesies because you could see it you know, and it's easy to navigate. And again, please don't think that you need to have so much money
Yeah.
to be able to start an account. Okay. For the parents, it would be good instead of giving them the money, you know, instead of you just put in $100, $500 into their account, and then you would see and then show them. And they have a kids account, which is, I think it's free. There's no, yeah,
It's not free, it's half the price.
half the price. All right. Oh, Holger is joining.
Hi.
Okay. So based on ownership, Invest Now and Shareseas has custodian holding. So if you buy Shareseas, if you buy an ETF on Invest Now or Shareseas, you don't, you still own the stock, but it is not named after you.
I think we need to clarify them to them.
Yes,
Because a lot of people
that-
think that if they have money on Shareseas, you know, they are the shareholders. Okay, yeah. So could you for the information of the people, could you just explain more onto that? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you compared to ASB and direct broking, we have this common shareholder number wherein once you open an account to them, they will give you this. The New Zealand Stock Exchange give you this, and it is linked to your name and to all your data. And for example, if Shareseas or Invest Now go bankrupt, what happens is they will liquidate the stocks, and sometimes, depending on the severity of the bankruptcy, you will, yes, you will lose the some money.
Okay. Is it true that there is like an insurance to a certain amount only? For example, Shareseas, like we invest the money into them. Now certain amount uh is insured, like regardless of how much money that you have more at a certain amount, that's only the secured
I'm
amount.
sure with New Zealand, but in the Philippines it's 500. But yeah, I'm not that sure at the basing on the
Okay, so you have an assignment, Roville.
I have an assignment.
Yeah, you
Oh,
find
but
out with that. Yeah,
yeah,
because I know that there is a cap, but I could
yeah.
not determine which one is having a cap. As I mentioned, I'm not the one looking at it. The trader. You're the trader.
When it
I am the investor. You're the trader.
when it comes to minimum investment, Shareseas here is the winner because you can invest as low as 1 cent. So if you buy for something an ETF or sorry a company, you
Mhm.
can buy them for less than $1. Really, you can start small, and it is really really very good because um based on other what do you call it, brokers will kill you in fees per trade. If you're just starting small, for instance, you're gonna buy Air New Zealand. I think it's around 120, 130. I don't know the current price. But if you're gonna buy Air New Zealand in 10 consecutive days, you only have $100 each. So
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
It's
buy a
going
New
down.
Zealand. Don't buy a New Zealand at the moment.
No, why? It's good to buy it now and leave it there. Because as I said, we're monitoring every day. He's so addicted to it. Okay.
as I'm saying, so if you do five trades in for example, for just $100, so that's $500, right? So
Yeah.
with shares is let's just say five trades worth $1,000, so it's easier. So you only pay $5 for the whole five trades. Compared to ASB, you will be paying 15 times 5, so that's around 75.
So for every trade, that's how
So
much you pay.
yeah, they charge you for every trade. That's the beauty of Shareseas. But again, if you're investing higher money, the best security is with ASPs and direct broking because it's named after you. So going back again as well, if you're trading in ETF, as I said, it is very good to, if you're just trading ETF, it is Invest Now is the best platform. Why? Because there's no fee. You don't need to.
We haven't tried that.
Where is that?
Invest Now. We haven't tried Invest Now.
So, but here's the catch. There's an initial of $250 in
Membership?
in
No.
if you for example, you invest to a company, you need to invest first $250 and then the succeeding investment. So it's
Okay.
the upfront is pretty big, but you're not paying any fees.
Okay.
So you have
So
to pay.
they just require you to maintain a minimum investment. In that case, your initial investment should be 250 to get in.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
But
that.
anyway, if you're investing at
If you're investing,
250, that's gonna be easier.
what
Yeah.
I do
Plus,
before,
yeah.
yeah. So what I do is I have spare money. I put it in shares.
Uh-huh.
Reach 250, I transferred it to Invest Now to be free with from subscription fees and other fees.
Okay. Before you continue, I just let you breathe. Okay. For those, I just want to acknowledge the people who are watching us in Zoom and as well as the group of Roville. Roville created this Filipino investor group. Yeah, you just type in the name. All right. So people would be able to join you. I like it. Every time I had a chance, I am looking at it because they post him questions. Okay, and as a novice investor or trader, and then it's really interesting to know a bit more about it. Now, I this is not meant for people who have been already investing a lot. Okay, like I do facilitate investment visa categories for clients. So normally what we do is we get the bank sort out from them. This information is basically for people who it's an investment 101. All right. So people who really don't have any knowledge or a bit of knowledge, who wanna be able to put aside some of their money and then learn about it. So, if ever we win a lotto or we got ano a spare money, etc., then that's going to be good. And I think because of the lockdown, a lot have been interested in reevaluating their finances, reevaluating how they spend their money, including me. Okay, so my husband is very happy, although I'm still spending on plants. All right, so for those people who in Facebook, for the group of Roville, the Pinoy investor, you could ask questions. Just type it in. For the people in NZX's group, you just type in the questions again. Or for the people in Zoom, you could join the discussion. Okay, you could button anytime or raise your hand. All right, so continue now, Roville.
Okay, so
Question.
the indirect broking. Sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Rob, I've just looked at this Invest Now. Invest Now only has
ETFs.
funds, right?
Yes.
So it's not that you can actually determine what company is being bought. It's the funds that certain companies are offering that you invest into.
You need to do the research on what they are investing particularly, but aside from Shareseas has smart shares, what ETFs, Invest Now has other companies such as Vanguard, forgot that the other name. They have other companies other than smart shares.
So what you do in Invest Now is basically you put in your money, you choose which one. It's the same. But then there's a different funds.
So Invest Now, you invest into a company, an investment company that actually chooses a portfolio and switches the money around to make the most money out of it, and then give the shareholders a certain amount of.
That's right. Yeah.
So
whereas when you go through Shareseas, you've got the option to either go through funds. They also have avant-garde funds in there and so on.
Yeah.
I think there's an annual fee of 0.5, 0.75. Whereas when you invest on the companies direct, you pay 0.5% of whatever you're investing when you buy it, and you pay 0.5% of whatever you are wanting them to sell. So they're making a percent on buying and selling in the end.
Buying and selling. Where in invest now, there's none.
Okay, but obviously there's a hidden, earnings from them as well with that one.
Yeah, there's actually just minimal fees, like less than 0.5, less than a percent. Yeah. So minimum holding for ASB securities and direct broking. So the company will determine the minimum holding requirements. It's on, I think, based on my research, it's only Chorus that has a minimum holding of 1,000. So
Okay. So if you're
other
buying,
companies have no minimum holding requirement.
okay, so even if you say, okay, I'm gonna put in $100, $500, okay, then that's acceptable with even with ASB.
As long as, yeah, and you need to pay the fees for trading per trade.
Per trade. So this one is the $15, for example, trades two. Is it the ones here? Okay.
So let me clarify.
I'm just gonna put it up bigger.
So if you go through
ASB
up to $1,000, 15, so that's 1 point.
That's the equivalent of 3,000 in share Cs already.
So they are charging you 1.5% on the first 1,000, and $30 from 1,000 to 10,000. Okay, so if you trade 10,000, you're down to 0.3%, but not really. Okay, the only thing that you have is you're going to be the share is listed to your name.
Yes, that's true.
How long, in your experience, does it take for the bank to trade for you?
It's just the trade is finished in at least 2 days, because they're gonna record it, and then after that you're gonna buy it, record it, and then the next day it's already there.
Okay. So I think what's the positive thing about it, if you're that type of person would like, oh, I want to put the my shares under my name, that pride and joy that you have it under your name. And I think, is it more secure that way?
And as I said before, if you become a shareholder, you have the rights to vote during the annual meeting. So if they have any policies, you can voice out your concerns to them directly, because you're already a shareholder.
Okay. So all the shareholder shareholder meetings, blah blah blah, you're entitled to do so. Okay. So that's what we have for Catalina for container. Yeah, container. We have that something in containers. Okay. So we have a question from Paul. Hi, Paul. You are in Zoom. Why don't you just talk? Okay, but I'm gonna read out the first question anyway. I missed your explanation about plus 500. What is it, pros and cons again? So maybe Holger wants to know about it as well, because he wasn't here too.
So plus 500 is an Australian platform. So it's focused on CFDs. CFDs means contract for difference. So for instance, you have 10,000. If you're gonna buy a stock worth 10,000, you only depending on the ratio you put in. So for instance, 1 to 100. 1:100. So your $1 is worth $100. You make a contract with other with the broker, so that it will double or triple your money in what do you call it, when the price moves. So the good thing about this is it is very rewarding, but the bad thing about this, it's so risky. Because for instance, if the price goes up $1, if you have a contract of is to 100, you earn your $1 will earn additional $100. However, if the price drops, for instance, to another $1, you're gonna do your $1 drop would cost you $100 as well.
Ah,
It's very rewarding as well. It's very risky.
so basically, probably you only invest into that the money that you could afford to lose in an
Yes.
essence.
So the worst thing that could happen in investing to CFDs is you could lose all of your money.
Okay. Paul, you got something to say. Hey, thanks for joining.
Hello, hi. How are you going?
Good. You look good. You look
Thank
fit.
you. Thank you.
Yes, Paul.
No. Kasi I've been trading ever since. So kaya lang dito, we were very careful kasi we're not familiar with the companies to trade at saka which one is more reliable. So ngayon, nagtatanong ako. I asked someone from the group last week, but nobody answered me.
Sorry.
What is the most reputable and reliable platform? Kasi sa Philippines, madali lang yung BPI tsaka COL.
Uh-huh.
Like everything I trade overnight, nandun na kagad, I transfer and then everything. So dito kasi like it takes about 3 days, 4 days when I buy or sell my shares, not share but fund shares through the bank, kasi through ANZ. How is it right now through let's say share Cs if I buy and sell a stock?
So
How
if you,
long would it take?
You don't have shares yet, Paul?
No, I don't have.
This
Wala pa ako actually, wala pa talaga akong stocks
This is
dito.
addict to sharesies.
Call me maybe.
Sige. Let's talk about it kasi
he's every day onto it. Oh my gosh.
yeah, once you're into it kasi you really look at it kasi kami dati na we both have our own portfolios and we compete which one we bought and which one made money. Ganon. Pero yun nga, medyo dito kasi maingat pa kami. Saka syempre hindi pa kami full-fledged resident, so hindi namin alam kung saan namin tatakbo yung pera, mas madaling igalaw. Anyway, that's it. Gaano katagal gumalaw yung kasi sayang kunyari you see a traded price tapos nag-trade ka tapos pagdating nung trading sila yung gagawa nun, iba na yung presyo. Na ano ka ba na nawawalan ka ng advantage minsan kasi tumaas na yung presyo or something?
Actually po, hindi Shareseas now acts as as same as the brokers in the Philippines. When you buy a stock, once your bid is hit, you already own the stock. And then
very good.
Yeah, and the good thing about them is once you sell the stock and your money is already in the your wallet, you can withdraw it immediately.
Anytime.
Okay. All right.
Actually,
Got
after
I think yun yung makakasagot to.
Shareseas is really good for this ad hoc trading, and I like it because you can play around. So, for example,
okay,
if you would get yourself a stock at 76 cents, yeah, this thing goes up by 2%, so to 78, you sell it. You made 2%, you paid 1% in trading, 0.5% for buying, 0.5% for, but you got the money, you made 1%. It's you can do that within minutes. That's the great thing about Shareseas. But also, as said, it is risky. So if you got your money in there and it's going down, well, you need to wait.
And that's why I said to Roville, with all of this brokerage, they have a set amount that they cover it. So basically, if you want to be secure, then you want to be only at that level. So at least you've got the ceiling and confidence that if something happens.
Look at an example in the Philippines, a BPI account. I think the maximum that they're going to be the maximum that they're going to be covering you if the bank goes bust per account is $500,000. 500,000 pesos, sorry. Which means if you've got a savings account with 700,000, they go bust, they only pay you 500,000.
Yes.
So that securities thing is the same thing with cherries. There must be some figure that you stick to for a certain account.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know the owner of Sharesies, and I've met them as
Okay.
well. I'm gonna ask them about that because I'm not quite familiar as well. I'm
Okay,
familiar, but I'm
I
not
would
that
send
sure.
the link because I have what is it? I registered. The co-founder of ShareSeas is gonna have a talk next week.
Ah, that's
I
nice.
will I will put on the link so you guys could register because I registered us. I already
Thank you
registered
for
Holger.
doing me.
All right, so Roville. Okay, continue.
Well,
See, this is exciting instead of buying plants.
so I think the best broker in New Zealand still depends on how you use the platform. So if you're just investing on ETF, if you don't want to have a lot of fees, go with Invest Now. If you're gonna trade in the New Zealand Stock Exchange, the best one is shares is because trading on ASB and direct broking is pretty high. But if you're investor, ASB and direct broking is pretty good because you don't need to pay the annual fees, and you can hold these shares as long as you like. So that's the gist of that one. So moving on. So after finding a broker, step 2 is selecting a company and investing on them. So note, when you invest, make sure you have a plan. So um, some newbies, they just trade, they just invest, they just choose a company, then buy whatever the price is, not knowing that because some newbies they look at the chart, they say it's going up, but they don't know what drives the price to go up. So some newbies do is invest on them, and then after that they realize that the price is already going down, and that's what we call in the stock market as FOMO, or fear of missing out. Um, they just select a share because it's going up, not knowing what drives the stock price to go up or down, to move. So how to know where to invest. So for beginners, try to stick into low to medium risk investment while still learning about the market. Why? Because as I have said before, low to medium risk only moves minimal. So it still maintains its value, and during that time you learn. So based on here, you'll see this on Jersey. So risk and returns, what do you call it, line, graph. So 1 to 2 is um, low risk. So 1 to 2 will be your bonds, your low risk ETFs, while 3, 4 is the medium, while 5, 6, 7 is the high risk investment scheme, which includes your individual companies, such as Air New Zealand, Main Freight, etc.
Okay, Roville, somebody messaged me. I'm not gonna say who.
Okay.
Please open the topic about risk management with Roville because apparently you're very good at this.
So risk management, it's okay.
Could we discuss it on this step 3, or it's gonna follow in the next step? We could discuss now.
Okay, we could discuss now, I think. So risk management is once as I said before, once you do a trade, you need to have a game plan. So for instance, if you're gonna buy a stock, for example, when I think 2 weeks ago, Air New Zealand went up because we're going we're going out of lockdown. They said that the price will come back, but then after that it went down back to 1.2 levels, right? So it's from I think it's 0.80 cents to, I think I sold around 150, but I think it went up to 1.60 something. And
I think Sugar's still holding on to his Air New Zealand stocks.
so
I'm feeling positive at the moment.
yeah.
I invested when it was down at 80.
So yeah, so some people when you do risk management, so as much as possible you protect your capital. So some people do cut losses. So for instance, they're gonna read the chart. So I'll discuss it later as well. So they're gonna read the chart about support and resistance. So once they read it, they're gonna map their for instance, some traders do, if it's gonna drop 3%, they're gonna sell. If it's that, but if it's gonna go 5%, they're gonna sell. It depends on the risk that you're willing to take. So for me, I'm up down to 5%. If it's gonna go to 5%, sell. Depending on the depending on the market's condition as well. So there's a lot of things you need to consider when once you're doing your trade, and I think we're gonna discuss that somewhere here. So moving on. So what else do you need to know? So there are two things. So as I've said before, between trader and investor, we need to know about fundamental analysis and technical analysis. This too is the best thing you need, best thing that you need to equip, because this will teach you how to choose the best company. So fundamental analysis, it has two aspects. So you have the qualitative aspect and the quantitative aspect. So in the qualitative aspect, you have the business model, meaning what does the company do? Then competitive advantage, is it competing with the competition? And then management, who runs it? And corporate government, it is the policies placed within the organization. Also in the company sharing, also you need to be aware if the company is sharing information to the shareholders, or are they just holding information, as well as are they ethical, etc. Because this number 4 is very good, because you really need to know about the company. If they're not disclosing information to to their shareholders, for instance, what if they are already losing a lot of money and they're withholding it? So you will be surprised if it goes bankrupt. So, and the other part of fundamental analysis is the quantitative, which includes the balance sheet, their asset, liabilities, equity at the time, income statement, are they earning money, statement of the cash flow, where is the money going, and the book value. Note, this book value is will help you as well, because you will know if a company is overvalued or undervalued. Meaning, if the company is overvalued, then why will you invest on that company? However, there's even if it's overvalued, you still need to know if why is it overvalued? Is it doing pretty good, or it's just going up, or it is lower in price. So why is it lower in price? Why is nobody investing in this company? So there's a lot of factor that needs to be considered. So technical analysis also refers to your charts, your moving averages, your RSI, MACD. And yeah, this is just traders use this, as well as those, as said, smart investors, because you will know when to invest. So I won't go around the details about technical analysis based on these indicators, but I'm gonna try to teach you about one technical analysis that you all need to know, which is support and resistance. This is very basic, and everyone needs to know about this when you invest. Why? Because you will know when to enter and when to exit. So, for example, on this one, um, we all know, I don't know if you can see my cursor. So these two lines here are support and resistance. The one in the bottom is the support, and then the one at the top is the resistance. So if I'm gonna buy a share, the best time to buy is at the support, or if it's gonna break the resistance. So if you have a look, support, guys, is means that the price is, a lot of people buys at the support, and while the resistance means a lot of people wants to sell at that price. So that's their definition. So again, support, a lot of people wants to buy there. That's why the price won't go down, because there's a lot of people that is willing to buy on that area. Resistance, there's a lot of people that wants to sell. That's why I think it's the best the best time to sell. So again, let's discuss. So in this charts, for example, this is ACE-PH. So it is owned by Ayala Company in the Philippines. So they are um, they they do what do you call it? They're it is an energy stock. So in here, as you can see, at 2.20, which is the support. So what happens here? It maintains the value, right? As you can see here, 220 to 20. So what happens is, once it reached this area, what happened is it went up. But as you can see, as it's nearing the resistance, a lot of selling pressure. So as you can see, um, a lot of people wants to sell here. That's why the price is going down. But again, it has an immediate support here at 225. So if you can see, once it reached this level, the price bounce. Why? Because it acts as well as an immediate support. So it's very technical, but once you get the hang of it, I think you will appreciate the beauty of support and resistance. So, you have any question?
I'd like to share on that, Robel, regarding support and resistance. It's basically how people feel how they would make money or not. So in the sense, this technical term is being used by traders so that they can, sell or buy a stock based on their technical definition. Pero ang gusto lang sabihin niyan is that kung nakikita mo na lumalaban na yung presyo, most of the people will sell it because they want to cash in from that value. But if it's going down, but there is still a few buying when it's down, and there are only few people buying, then there is still a resistance there that you cannot think that it would continue to go down. So it might go up again. So technically, those are the things that we're looking at in terms of understanding this technical values. Pero sorry, Robel, question there. Yun bang share sees, meron ba siyang just like COL, kasi hindi ko pa nabuksan yung kanyang ano. Meron ba siyang parang recommendation as to buy at a certain value or hold or sell?
No.
Wala.
So that because I think it's they have the lunch money thing, but they don't offer any advice on when or where on when to buy. or at what certain price to buy the
Okay.
the stock.
So talaga mag-a-analyze ka on your own.
Yeah, and their chart as well is just a very basic, unlike the ones we are used to sa Pinas.
Oo.
It's pretty basic.
Okay.
So, but again, technical analysis for me, based on experience, is just a guide. Don't just dwell on it. Na since what we saw on the map is this, it's still also driven with other factors. That's why combination of fundamental analysis and technical is very good when you do trade or investing. So step 3. So you sell. So
Mm.
so as I said earlier, before you do your trade, you have your game plan. So it depends on your game plan. If your price is it, then sell. Don't be greedy, because a lot of traders, I think, is very immune to this. Once they saw the price going up, going to ceiling, they add more, not knowing that it could pull back anytime. So just follow your plan and trade at your own risk. So let's move on to the next topic, which is budgeting.
Wait, question po. Hello.
Yes.
Hello
Sino
po.
ba yung question?
Yeah. That's me. Just thinking about para kasi tayo what do you call it? Nagta-trade blindly. Because just like Kuya, what's his name? The other Kuya was trading back in the Philippines too. So am I. So in the Philippines, you have this charting and stuff where we know how much is the last price, how much was it traded for. But yeah, my sister invested on shares. So I found out that it's like you're trading blindly.
Yes.
So do you rely solely on fundamentals, speculations? How would we know the volume of trades that happens in a certain day or something like that?
We use third party such as Yahoo Finance and ShareSite, Share Clarity.
Okay.
So there's third party apps or site that you can what do you call it, you can subscribe to. However, if you want to have a very what do you call it, a very
Thorough.
yeah, very good
Comprehensive.
explanation. I mean, very definite what do you call it, trading plan that offer that, but you need to pay.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like in the Philippines that they are just giving their advice for free, but in here they charge you for it.
Oh, so
third party app that does that.
Okay, before we
are
go
they real time po? Are they real time? Like
you mean the market depth?
yeah.
Sharesys offer market depth in real time. They actually I think they're the only one that offers they're not the only one, but they're the only one that I have tried that offers market depth. However, you need to pay $10 per month to
okay.
I think it's not Sharesys, it's within New Zealand Stock Exchange. Because their system is pretty old and they really need to.
Kasi last time I asked, I think ASB for investment, I think their minimum one is 500, and every transaction, actually minimum charge every transaction. For example, you have 1,000 on your portfolio, and then the minimum one they can charge you is $30. Tama po ba?
What broker is this?
ASB po.
ASB. For ASB there, for less than 1,000, they charge you $15 per trade. About
Okay.
up to 10,000 is $30 per trade, and about 10,000 is 0.3% already. So it's a bit high if you're just doing trading.
I know, right?
So what I do is before is I have share Cs, I have ASB, I have direct broking. So I compare their data and as much as possible, try to do my research on it, because it's pretty hard, because the data is not that well. It's a little bit late, and before COVID, New Zealand Stock Exchange is not moving that much compared to what we're used to in the Philippines, because it's New Zealand market is I think it is already not established. That's why it's not much. And there's not a lot of traders in New Zealand. They sometimes prefer investing in ASB company. I mean ASX. Because some of New Zealand companies is also listed on Australia, where there is a lot of people that is investing.
Okay. Before any question.
Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Let. Okay. So I have transferred the host. Holger is now the host. He's upstairs now. I'm here. And then you guys could continue. Now, I'm just going to be asking probably Anjali. Anjali, sorry,
Yes.
I find you. If you could monitor the questions in our Facebook page, but you could see that from the comment, and then you just butt in. At least I know Roville will not mind, because I don't think Holger knows how to monitor the questions in Facebook. All right, in the comment section. So I am gonna leave you guys, but I will watch, the end of it, because as I've been invited for another Zoom tonight, but that's not gonna be talking about investing, but rather immigration. So yeah, but I will again, all of this weekly Facebook live and talks that we're having is really, enlightening. And because I saw Paul, okay, before I would forget, I already have the next topic. So I will announce next week our topic would probably, doing business in New Zealand, and then I will put the marketing side to Paul. So I will do the law side of putting up the business, and then Paul could also explain to you. He opened a marketing company here and probably gonna help a lot of you. And I'm really excited that the group and the discussion that is happening, we're evolving. It's not just about immigration, and I guess that's really how we want it, because in a year and a half, there's going to be a transition as well. So with us, so I'm going to leave you guys. Please continue the robust discussion. It's just that I'm invited to a Indian group, so I'll be talking to them tonight. And then Holger, be good, and Roville help. I don't know if he's very familiar with Zoom. He's the host. Okay. So it's gonna continue going on through the Facebook Live. So I'm gonna leave you guys and continue the discussions. Okay.
Ciao, Maricel.
See you po.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So moving on, so let's talk about budgeting. So how should I invest? So as I keep saying to the people that I'm just invest only what you are willing to lose. Because what happens is when you invest the money that you don't own, that the thing is you might end up selling your shares, and then ended up losing. So just invest on only what you are willing to lose. And then So this is my handling strategy of money. So this is 4 steps. So 4 steps in handling money. So the first step is pay all your bills. So this includes your credit cards, your debts, your insurances, your weekly groceries, all of the bills that you needed to pay. Pay it first. And then step 2, set aside money for emergency fund, calamity fund, before you do invest. Before you go to step 3, wherein you invest money in the stock market or wherever you want to invest. And then step 4, after paying all of your bills and emergency fund and investment, then if you have spare money, that money is for you. Because what happens is a lot of people does step 4 first. So what they do is they spend the money for themselves first before paying their bills, their credit cards, their debts, and what's happening is they don't have money anymore for emergency fund, for their investments. So yeah, it's just so sad because especially with COVID. So imagine being laid off from work. So I think you're just gonna get 545 something minus tax. So imagine if you're paying $400 or $200 for your house every week. So or $400 per week for your house. So what money would you have for your food if you don't have an emergency fund? And being being out being having no money for having no money, no salary for a certain time, for instance, for 3 months, it's a very long time to have no money. So yeah, so emergency fund, it is when you when you save for your emergency fund, your shares in the stock market or other investment is not an emergency fund. Emergency fund means that you have a readily available asset that could help you if there is an emergency. So emergency fund is something that you put on your daily account or your savings account that you can withdraw if there's an emergency. So only use emergency fund on illness, if there's a major repair to home, not to mention our national crisis with the pandemic, with the coronavirus. And then a lot of financial planners say that we should have at least 3 to 6 months of worth of money, our expenses that could as for our emergency fund. So I'm as well guilty with this one. I'm building up my emergency fund because yeah, I'm not 3 to 6 months yet, but we're going there. So at the start of this year at Pinoy Investors of New Zealand, we encourage people to build their emergency fund. And for those people that that have created the emergency fund, if they lost their job, which is they will have money to use at least. But we're lucky in New Zealand that the government is also helping somehow. But sad to say that money is not enough, especially if you have kids. So yeah, emergency fund is really, really important. So the next topic is about spotting scams and pyramiding schemes. So going back to the Pinoy Investor of New Zealand, the page was made because I think last year there were a lot of scams and pyramiding schemes in the Philippines. There were Kappa, Rygen, and other companies that was giving um, 300% returns or 30% returns in a month, which is, I think, very sketchy. So step one is check if the company is registered. So I'll tell you how to check a company later. You can visit the Security Exchange Commission website, or just check their website if they're really registered. Also, step two, check if they have a product. So what do they sell? How do they stay in business? Some of these scams and pyramiding schemes don't even have a product. They say that they're investing in Forex, but mind you guys, even investing in Forex is risky. If you don't tell me that you earn 30% every day, it's not, I think not, it is feasible, but it could not be every day, right? So that's the one thing that you must consider as well. And step three, does the company offer a reasonable return of investment? So for example, last year we have Rygen and Kappa, which offers 30%, and Rygen offers 300% per month. So imagine if you do that for a year, you will be richer than Bill Gates and the billionaires in the world. So it's pretty unreasonable. So that alone is already a flag. So pyramiding scheme. So when you say pyramiding scheme is there's a lot of people that are being attracted to this one because of the high return of investment. So what happens on this one is a person will recruit another person, and then that person will recruit another person, and so on and so forth. And what this the first person will be seeing is um, he will be owning a lot of money because this person here will be paying him. And but the saddest part of this is the last person to join will have nobody, will have none, will have no money, um, will have no money to will not receive any money because the link is this is finished because nobody wants to invest on them. So it's only the first 1 to 3 lines that will benefit from it, but the fourth, fifth, and the rest will have benefit from this one because there will be no money left. So where to check if a business is legit? So in the Philippines, you can check on the website of the Security Exchange Commission, sec.gov.ph, and look for the advisories. If you look on the screen, this May alone, there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 12 companies that is listed in them as not registered, and they're offering a scheme. So if you have families in the Philippines, please inform them about this one because sometimes the most vulnerable person are those people that doesn't know about investing their money because I was not taught in school. So there is no subject in school that focuses on investing, right? So they will be very vulnerable because they just don't know. They will just be blinded by the high return that will be offered to them. And the other one is if you're in New Zealand, you can check the company on companies registered at companiesoffice.gov.nz. So just write their name, and if the company is listed, it will show there. So the golden rule of knowing if it is a pyramid, if it is scam is if it's too good to be true, it is probably a scam. So end quote. Do not work for money. Let the money work for you. If you have any questions, just tell me.
Great. Now, I do have a question, and it goes back to the support.
Okay.
What support line do you go with? As in, what kind of time frame are you looking at when you're doing your assessment?
So actually, it depends on you. If you're just trading, and actually it depends on the market. So if you are in the US or if you're in the US or in the Philippines, um, you do look at the hourly or 3 to 5 minutes. Depends on the situation. If it's moving pretty fast, then have a look on the to the 3 to 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So it depends on on how the market is doing. But for New Zealand, sometimes I just use daily or weekly. And then I plot my support based on the pattern that I see.
Okay. I've had a look at a few things, and when I'm looking at these support lines, I actually go sometimes by historical data.
Yes, that you need to consider that as well.
And the options that you have on Sharesies, for example, would be you've got the last day, the last week, the last month, the last 3 months, 6 months, year, or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you actually look at the last 5 years?
Not too often, actually. I just depends. So for this COVID thing, I do look at the 5 year thing, 5 year scheme, or sometimes 10 years. I'm just looking at the historical data that is available because some of the prices from now is actually the price 5 to 10 years ago. So I will just base my trade from there.
And then the market, from my perspective, or from what you look at, if you compare it to 2008, because you had a major event there as well.
Yes,
Give me a second. There's someone at the door. I'll need to break that for a second.
So we have a question as well at Facebook. So hi po, on your experience on trading here, NZX at NZX, compare po sa Pinas, which one has a much higher potential gain? Thanks in advance. So based on my experience, as I always say, there is always there is always what do you call it? There is always a chance to earn money wherever market you are. But the best thing about the Philippines and the US market is there's a lot of traders that trades in them. So in the Philippines, we are very dependent on foreign investors. So if once the foreign investor comes in, the price really goes up. So in the US as well, US market is driven by foreign investors that is just willing to put money in the companies. So that's why their prices there is very volatile. While in New Zealand Stock Exchange, from based on experience, it's not that moving that fast compared to what we are used to in the Philippines. But of course, if there's an event such as COVID, I think April alone, the NZX just announced that there are a lot of people trading in the New Zealand Stock Exchange on that day alone, which is already comparable to a year's number of trade. So there.
Rovil, question.
Yes, Bob.
Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, yeah, you have a question. Go ahead, Holger. You continue it with your question. I can hold on mine.
Okay, but what I was still wanting to go at, sorry, I've got a delivery, he was knocking on the door like hell. The current mood or a word in the market is that specifically in the US, the big investors are starting to pull out all their financials. You see Warren Buffett warning and pulling out billions.
Yes.
And I've been looking at the Buffett indicator and at PE, so profit profit, how's it called, the profit factor
Ratio.
it's